Hello guys, this is Mohsin Azam interacting with you from my YouTube channel Business Innovation. Today we are going to start 13th lesson of Planning Engineer and Primavera tutorial. The topic which we will discuss in today's lesson will be activity codes in Primavera P6. Okay, so first of all we will start with the definition that what is actually the activity codes in Primavera P6. So Primavera P6 provide the capability to set up and assign activity codes to the activity in your project. Activity codes are used to classify, categorize and organize activities based on your organization reporting need. It means that activity codes support the schedule reporting. So means activity codes are used in Primavera P6 schedules to classify, categorize and organized activity based on the organization report needs or requirement. Activity codes are usually created and assigned at the beginning of the project. If the contractor want to subcontract the majority of the project activities, he may want to set up the activity code entitled subcontractor, and then he can establish a set of all subcontractor that might be used as a code value. Activity code can be assigned to activities and used to filter activity. Means we can use activity code to filter out the specific activities, and we can use activity code to group and sort the activities by some particular values, i.e. project page. Means we can create the different pages as activity code in Primavera, or we can create activity code for the location or the responsible contractor, etc. for an activity completion. Activity code can be set up in three levels, i.e. global, EPS and project. So the demonstration of this lesson will be consist of following. Means this lesson can be divided into four major topics. One is set up activity codes, and then method of assigning activity codes and values to activities, code values to activities, how the activity codes can be used in group and sort, how we can use activity codes to filter activities. So first of all we will start with the first topic or first step, set up activity code. So how we can create the activity codes. So step 1 is from the enterprise menu select activity codes. So if we now open Primavera, we have here enterprise, and in enterprise we have here activity codes. Okay, so this is the window for the activity codes, and here the same step is defined. From the enterprise you can access activity codes. Then step 2 is select global EPS or project. This is based on your choice that whether you want to create the activity code as a global, so we can use this activity code for all the projects. And then the second option is you can create for a specific EPS or for a specific project. Click modify to define new code. After adding activity code, select the code and click add to define code value. So here in first step 1 we have to select whether we want to create the global EPS or project code. Then in the second we have to click modify. So by clicking modify, a new window will appear. In this we have to add a new activity code, and then in the fourth step we have to select the activity code, and at the end on step number 5 we have to define different values inside the activity codes. So now what we will do, we want to create here global activity code. We'll click here modify, and now I will click here add. By clicking add, I will now define the name for this activity code as page. Okay, now I will close this window. Now I will select my code which I have defined, and now here in this window we have to add values to this code. So by clicking add, okay, here I will name this as P1 is A01. Then we can copy and paste, that is P2 is 2, and it should be in the same level. And I will add one more, is 03. So this is now an activity code named page is created, and we have assigned 3 values. We can use a different color format for these also if you want to keep a color format for this. You can keep, it's your choice. Now I will close this window. Okay. Now in the second step, we have to assign the activity code values to activities by two options. One is go to the activity detail window, select code from there, click assign, and then search the code in the new window, select the code value and click add. So option 1 to assign the activity codes, first of all we will try option 1. So option 1 is we have to go to the activity code. From the activity details we have to go to codes, then we have to click here assign, and from the new window we have to select the code. So for example, if this activity A is belong to phase 1, I will select this, and by clicking add, now this code is added to activity A. Similarly for activity B, we want to select. Similarly activity B is part of page P1, so I will select the same for this activity. Similarly for the C, I can select, and then I can close this window. So now to these three activities we have assigned one activity code. The second procedure is go to columns from the activity window and add the code as column, and then add the code value to the activity. So this is the procedure actually. What you have to do in the first step, you have to go to the columns, then you have to click here the activity codes global, and the second step you have to bring this column to your activity window, and then you have to click apply and OK. And in the fifth step you have to assign this to the activities, and when you click the in the code column in front of activity, a new window will appear, and from here you can select your code value. So the second step, what we will do, we'll go to columns. In the columns we have here global codes. Here we have this newly defined activity code, which is then in the name of page, and then we will bring it to the columns, selected options, and then we will click apply and OK. So now see, this is actually now the activity code, and these are the values which we assign to some activities. Now what we have to do, we have to click here in this cell in the code column, and we can assign these codes one by one to the activities. Phase 2, and we can select two activities, and by clicking Ctrl E it will fill it down. Similarly these last two activities I will keep in phase 3 and Ctrl E. And similarly the finish milestone can be kept also in phase 3, and similarly the start milestone we will keep in phase 1. So this is actually the procedure to assign activity codes to your activities. Now the next is how you can use this activity codes in group and sort, and the last step is how you can use this activity code to filter activities. So first of all, how we can use these activity codes in group and sort, we will try first. So for example, this is now our activity window, and we have the project name as practice, and in the second level we have two WBSs, WBS A and WBS B. So now this project is sort or organized based on WBS. We visit the group and sort window. We have here the project organized as WBS level. Now if we change this WBS level to the activity code which we defined, so if I click here the activity code which is starting from P, so here this page will come. Now I want to organize my project based on activity code which is page, and now if I click apply, okay, so if we see here now my project is organized by pages. So in the page 1 we have start activity, activity A, activity B, activity C, and in page 2 we have E, F, G, H, I, J, and similarly in page 3 we have three activities K, L, and F. So like this we can organize our project based on activity codes. Now the next is how we can use these activity codes in filters. What we will do, we will go to filter, and I will add one new filter here, and this the name of this filter I will keep as code PRC, and here right here page is under page 1. So what I need from my project, that I need all the activities which is under phase 1 P1. And if I click OK now, and by clicking apply OK, so now Primavera, what P6 did, that all the activities which is belong to phase 1 is appeared here. One thing we can do, we can go to group and sort again. If I change this to WBS and I click apply OK, so now see, we have project name practice and WBS ABC, and under WBS we have the activities only which belongs to phase 1. Now if I go to my filter again, and here I will go to my code PRC, I will click modify, and I will add one more, and here similarly I will add page is under page 3. But and here, because this filter means that for these two condition, all the activities should satisfy these two conditions. If I apply this filter, my schedule or program will show no result because there is no such activity which satisfy both the condition. So by clicking OK and apply, all the activities will disappear. But if I change this and to or, and by clicking apply now, OK, apply, OK. So now see, these are all the activities. We have the group and sort as WBS, but we have all the activities which is belong to phase 1 and phase 2. Okay, so that's it for today. In this lesson, we discussed that how we can define the activity codes in the project and how we can assign these activity codes to the activity, and then how we can use it in the filter and group and sort. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching.